Hey everybody, it's Taylor with Boydston Grove, and today we're going to take a little shelving unit like this and turn it into a shelving unit like this. Let's get into it. If you've been with our channel for any amount of time, then you know how much I like to geek out on stuff like Star Wars, Batman, Marvel, and stuff like that. I also like to build little models like these. I find it really relaxing, and they're really small so they don't take up a lot of space. Quite a few years ago, I built these little shelves to hold all the models, and they worked out just fine, but I think it's about time for an upgrade.
Challenge accepted.
I started with a scrap piece of 1/2 inch plywood, cutting it to a 12 by 12 inch square. This will be the back of the display. I set it up on my longer Ray 5 10-watt laser with a picture that I found online. I decided to go Star Wars themed since I have quite a few Star Wars models. As you can see, I made some marks on the picture before engraving it so I would know where the shelves were going to go. I clamped it down with a board to create a straight edge and used a 1/4 inch straight bit in my router to route out the spots for the shelves. I went down about a 1/4 inch deep. After that, I cut the shape out with the jigsaw and gave it a quick sanding. I cut an old piece of a pine board to use as the base and notched it out to fit the back panel. Once I was happy with the fit, I put a small chamfer on the top edge of the base. Then I assembled the two pieces with some glue and brad nails. I decided to go with some 1/4 inch plexiglass for the shelves. This stuff cuts really easy on the table saw as long as you move nice and slow. I'll leave a link to the plexiglass I'm using in the description below. With the shelves cut, I held them in place to mark the angles of the ends and cut them to length with the miter gauge. I wanted one corner of each shelf to be rounded, so I marked the shelves and cut them using a small scroll blade in my jigsaw. Last but not least, I cut another piece out on the Ray 5. This will be in front of the shelves and mainly be decorative. I used some Oops paint that I got from the big box store to paint the decorative cutout and the edge of the shelving back. Then I glued the shelving in place using Gorilla Glue's clear adhesive. It acts a lot like E6000 except it starts to set much faster. As you can see, I got way ahead of myself forgetting to add the finish, so I taped off the shelves and applied some boiled linseed oil to the back and to the base. I wanted to edge light the shelves, so I drilled some holes along the back, and using a small set of battery operated fairy lights that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, I inserted a light into each hole and used hot glue to hold them in place. It actually worked out pretty well.
That's fancy. That's fancy.
I glued the rest of the strand of lights along the back. Hopefully it will add some cool backlighting. Since the piece that I cut out for the front is mainly decorative, I just attached it using some super glue. I felt like the whole thing was looking a little bland, so after talking with a friend, I decided to stain the base with a really dark stain. Alright, the mini shelving unit is done. I'm really glad that I decided to add the lights and to go ahead and stain the base. I think those two things make a huge difference. As you can see, I pretty much got it maxed out already, and I have a whole other one over here full of non-Star Wars based models. So if you have any ideas of other little shelving units I can make to go along here and put the other models on, let me hear them in the comments below. I really like the idea of this little cutout in the front for an extra detail, but now that it's all together and has the models in it, I'm not quite sure if it's more of an obstruction or not. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope this video encourages you to think outside the box when it comes to something as simple as just display shelving or something else around your house. Thank you very much for watching, be safe, and have a great day.